Saw something that said they also have rehabilitative spousal support. So for those women who are in that situation, or men that are in that situation where they've been married and out of work for 15 years, even though I might have a, let's say, a law degree, or but I wasn't practicing the entire time we were married or what have you. Yes, I have education, but so much changes when you've been out of work. Like, I look back on the last 5 years in the education system. If I go back 10 years, it's changed even more. I've been in education for over 20 years. And from when I started to where it is now is a huge difference. So even though you may have the education, you may have the degrees, it doesn't mean that you can just get back in a workforce and find a job like that. Especially if you look at certain jobs, the trajectory that you would have had you stayed in the workforce. And now getting back into the workforce after 15, 20 years, you're not going to start where you left off at. Typically, you're going to start at the bottom because the stuff that you know is dated compared to what needs to be done now within that same field.
No, just to elaborate a little bit on what she just said, like I knew like what she was saying, like it was outdated. So I'm guessing the guy had to Rachel Lindsay guy had to be out of work for a while because I do know he was a chiropractor. So I can definitely see how she probably didn't think that was going to be something that was awarded to him because he had his career and he was making good money like she was because she's a lawyer. So with him not working and then being in the spotlight, I can definitely see how he possibly wasn't in work and they was like doing a lot of TV things and that's how their income was coming in. So him being out of work and having to start all over probably definitely took a toll. So he has to like rebuild to get himself back on top.
But the
Uh,
bad part is that we even have to fight to go to court, hire a lawyer in order to get custody or see custody or have custody or have quality time with our kids. See, that's a problem, but see, I don't see it as that though. Why? Because y'all ladies don't suffer enough. Y'all don't feel that pain. Y'all have no idea. Y'all not going to say, I want to see my son. You're not coming to him and say, I want to see my son. No, it's not the situation y'all got. It's just the opposite. We got to come to y'all. And if y'all decide to say no, now I have to go uh, hire an attorney. And now I got to go push the issue. I got to go take off of work. I got to go do this. Why you have a public defender, the court system will appoint you somebody who will represent you while I have to sit back and put all of this money into it while y'all sit back and just reap the benefits. See, I don't think y'all understand how diabolical some of these are. I watched a dude go through a divorce. She put a emergency protective order on this man in order to get the man out of the house. You know why she did that? In order to gain control of custody of that child. So they gonna say, oh, well, he abandoned it. Well, he was forced out of the house. He had no option. He couldn't be around the house. So guess what? By the time that EPO got settled and dealt with, they did already dealt with the child custody situation. So now she's automatically awarded custody because he abandoned the child. He abandoned the residence. That's some diabolical shit that some of these ladies do out here. I know y'all don't want to believe that, but it happens.
No, I believe it because people, you can't expect people to be anything but people. I do not sit here and think that there are women out here, all women are saints and we're just the princesses and queens of life. You know, at the end of the day, you know, people are going to take advantage of what it is that they can take advantage of. And unfortunately, when it comes to certain situations like the one that your friend is going through, she has saw an opportunity and she took it. And that is wrong. And there should be punishments and consequences to people that do that type of stuff. And knowing that. So if she's getting a protective order and he has shown no sort of abuse, no sort of anything that could cause her bodily harm, but she did that just to her own personal gain to abuse the system, she should be prosecuted. That's what should happen. That would be the right thing to happen.
I think Hink's point is that, yeah, you're right that people are people, but there shouldn't be a full-on system with judges and police that back up this absolute, I want to say a bad word, but I'm not going to say it, but it's garbage system that is gynocentric. It's all about the pousse. Sorry, I'm not going to say the word, but it's like pousse centered, okay? And I think that's what Hink is saying. Like the whole system is centered around it.
Yeah, to say that they're people, I think is a stretch. A lot of the people that's in there they're just flat out evil. They abuse it. I remember being in family court once, and there was a gentleman there that was recently divorced, and his wife wasn't allowing for him to see the kids on the scheduled dates and times that she was supposed to. And the judge literally sat there. It was a woman judge, literally sat there and said, "Okay, well, we already set the time and the dates. You guys have to figure that out." And left it as that. It was nothing else he could do, nothing else he could say. He was literally at the mercy of this woman that was being vindictive for whatever the case may be. But he was on time making his child support payments. He was coming to court. He's spending all this money coming to court. And the judge just told him, "Oh, well, y'all got to figure it out. There's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands." So the system, without a doubt, is set up to benefit women, be it if they're a good mother or be it if they're a terrible mother.
I'm not saying that does not happen, because I absolutely know that it does for a fact. I've seen it. But I've also, and based on, stats, but just I'll also say based on just the people that I've been around that are in situations like that, in terms of, custody issues and stuff like that, is I think what we're speaking to is we're highlighting, like a lot of times y'all say with women, like you always are giving the worst case scenario, but that doesn't reflect the majority of what happens. I definitely know that women, their issue is they want control, right? With not that they have an issue all the time with the father seeing the kid, but it is how I want you to see the kid, right? So just like how men have issues with paying the child support, it's not that they have an issue with the money going towards the child, but it's the matter of controlling to make sure the money's going to the child and not you, right? But when using Zviz's example, personally, I've been up close and personal with a situation like that. And I just personally feel like if a man wants to see his kid or vice versa, then they do what's necessary. Now, he went to court and the judge said, y'all got to figure that out. And what he did was every time it was his time to get the kid, he made sure he had the decree that showed his set time, contacted the police, and always went to go get his kid with a police escort, so there wouldn't be an issue. And so that's something that you have to do. Now, I don't know if that works in every state. Each state have different laws. I'm saying I don't know, and I specifically am saying I'm speaking from my personal experiences that I've seen. Now, I know that my experience don't represent everyone, but just kind of reading about some of the stuff, the stats doesn't necessarily support that situation is the vast majority. That's all I'm saying.